What's up, everyone? Welcome back for another Comic-Con 2022 interview. I have the cast and the director behind a kick-ass movie with us right now. Bodies, bodies, bodies. Your movie is so good. It's so my kind of thing. Congratulations. You're all electric in it. You direct the crap out of it.
Oh, thank you so
Seriously, oozing with style, and I absolutely loved it. Question for all of you. Is this everybody's first horror movie?
It's certainly mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, wow.
Me three.
Yes.
I need to go down the line very briefly. What is your absolute favorite horror movie or the very first horror movie you saw that terrified you?
Very first was The Exorcist, very favorite Midsommar.
Excellent choices right there.
The one that traumatized me the most was like a Michael Myers moment. And my favorite one to date is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
That makes all the sense in the world. I get it.
I think one of my favorite horror movies is Green Room. It's really. Do you like it?
I am obsessed with
I
Green.
was like, or did you not like it?
It
Okay,
was
cool,
it
cool.
was one of my top 10 of whatever year it came out. I
It's
want to say
really good.
2014.
And I usually don't like gore because it's kind of gross, but I thought that the story was so good that it's really good.
I think one of the first ones that I remembered and liked was It Follows.
Oh, that's good.
I have posters of both, so I approve of both of those answers right now.
I love Rosemary's Baby just because
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with John Cassavetes. He's the greatest of all time to me. And then The Fifth Element, which is not even considered horror, but the blue lady in The Fifth Element, look her up. She's frightening and was the stuff of my nightmares for a decade straight.
The first movie that terrified the hell out of me was probably The Shining. I don't know why my dad would like force me to watch his favorite movies with him when I was little, including The Shining, which I'm like sus, but also like fantastic film taste, Dad. Thanks. And then my favorite horror movie now is probably Hereditary.
Ooh, a lot of A24 love here. I'm all for that. All right. So given the game you play in the movie, it does make me wonder whether it's Bodies, Bodies, Bodies or any variation on the game. Did you all ever play? And if you did, who was the best at it?
Yes, we played.
Yes.
And we've agreed that Maria was the best.
Maria, you
Maria's
won.
Fantastic.
I don't know what to say here. I'm not sure. Is this a compliment? Is it actually a critic?
Okay, well, the reason we should say that she is the best is because we did all play when we first met, and you know, we were going around being like, you're the one, no, I'm not the one, and defending ourselves, and Maria was dead silent the entire time. And finally, like, some of us got so worked up nearly to tears that we were like, maybe we should, and then I was like, hold on. Maria hasn't said a word, and then there she look at that face.
Playing?
I just played a game a long time ago.
Dare I ask
Yeah.
who was the worst?
Me. It was me. It was me because everyone kept thinking that I was the murderer, and I wasn't. And I literally, I guess I look like a killer, but everyone kept being like, it's you, and I was like, it's really not. Yeah.
But
Also,
playing
Rachel cannot tell a lie. She has too much anxiety.
But playing this game with actors is really like you don't understand
You
what to
can't
believe
tell.
because that could have been the performance of a lifetime. Is Rachel getting really worked up? So it's like it's very
Yeah.
it plays tricks on the mind.
Definitely, yeah, it messes with you.
I get it. I can't lie. I have no poker face. So whenever I play Among Us with my friends, I'm literally always the loser. There is no hope for me in those games whatsoever.
I'll teach you.
A question for the whole cast, except for you, Maria, because I've asked this to you, and I liked your answer. For the four of you, the cast chemistry is of the utmost importance in this, and I know you all have different styles and different backgrounds when it comes to your acting. Is there anything you saw somebody else do on the set of this film, a technique they used that you put in your back pocket and said, I want to try that either on this film or on a future film?
What a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Wait, I have one that Chase gave to me, and it was, I forget the name of it, but it's like,
Closure tactics?
yes,
Yeah.
you say to yourself, going into the scene, like, hey, like, this isn't real, like, we're gonna go into this world, whatever, and like, and then you go into it, and then when you leave, you're like, we're leaving. You said it so much better, but I did it, and it was great, and it was really helpful, and it felt like, in my head, I would see myself going into an elevator into hell, and at the beginning of every day, and I was like, there we go, and then I would leave at the end of the day. And it was very
It's
helpful.
just like a verbal like recognition that you're kind of morphing your brain into something else is very helpful.
I stole that from Chase too. I still do that now because of Chase.
It's very
And I felt completely insane at first, like driving to work by myself, like talking to myself out loud, like, "Hey girl, today's gonna be fine. It's not real," but it actually does. It does do something.
I'm glad. That makes me happy.
I too took this technique from Chase. I'm getting the vibes that maybe we've all been deeply traumatized by all the work that we've done. But yeah, there was same conversation about allowing, like, reminding yourself that whatever you've just done it's not real and you're going to go into your life. And Chase was like, "Oh, I made this specific playlist that I listen to after that helps me pull myself out, and I really connect to music." So that was a good one that I've held on to as well. Come on, Chase. Chase.
Wait, but now Chase, I want your answer. What technique did you take from one of your co-stars?
Exactly.
Okay, here we go.
Chase is like nothing.
Not one thing. I learn everything from myself, self-taught. No, I mean, I feel like I think the improv was a whole nother ball game on this set. I mean, like, Rachel's like comedy background and just like her I think everyone being able to like drop in, and the fact that Helena like staged it like a play, and just being able to like look at anyone, and it's kind of like a fear dance that I feel like everyone on the set was able to play so well, of like you're either dropped in or you're like sinking. So just that kind of improv skill, I think, is something I learned from everybody on this set.
Oh, we are going to get into that improv because I'm so curious how that panned out for your editor. But it worked out really great for the movie in the end. But first, before we get there, I want to know a little bit about the evolution of the story, because correct me if I have any of my details wrong, Helena, but you adapted this, or Kristen adapted this, from her own story, her own short story. She wrote the screenplay. Then you brought in Sarah to work on it a little bit, and then you obviously directed it. So can you tell me a little bit about the defining quality that everybody added to the project every step of the way?
I think she wrote it originally, Kristen, just as a script, because she was with her friends one weekend and she wrote it like as a script, and then me and Sarah sort of rewrote it, or mainly Sarah, of course, but with my input into what it is, what it was when they got it, and then all of their inputs, changed that. And then on top of that, there was improvisation. So there were so many layers to it, and I really keep saying this, like, I'm 46, I want to make a movie about Gen Z. I better open myself up completely to these young people and collaborate with them. And also, I come from the theater, I'm an actress myself, so I really wanted to create a small theater ensemble, even though they had not met before, so this was quite a challenge, but we all got into it, and it really worked out great.
What is the difference what is the biggest difference between draft one of this screenplay and what we see in the final film?
If I answer that, I spoil.
Yes.
Because there's a huge like plot thing that I think also defined what it has become. But I think mainly for me, myself, I come from radical art house, and to take this project on and to make it really entertaining was my challenge, but also to make it dark and meaningful, So I feel that Sarah DeLab, who comes from the theater, also added a lot to that, but they did too, because I think it's so much fun, this film, but at the same time, of course, it has a little hidden message.
Yeah, I do. I love that in my horror. As much as I love the thrills, like the fleeting thrill of just watching something and then having a good time, I like how much horror nowadays is getting into real world challenges, because for some reason I have an easier time processing things through horror movies than in real life. So
No, I get that. Yeah, I totally get that.
That's
part of the reason why I love the genre so much. All right, so let's get into this improvisation. So I read that Helena likes to prepare so that you guys can just go for it on set. So when you hit set and you go for it, can you each give me an example of something that started in one place but then completely morphed on set that really surprised you?
I think the one scene that really took a turn I was not expecting was a scene in the basement with
In the gym.
in the gym.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
basement of the house we were filming in, but the basketball court / gym area where we. Can I talk about plot points? I don't know how this works.
Very lightly, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe
We're
let's
in
not
there.
spoil any.
We're in there.
We up in
Yeah.
Something frightening.
And, on the page it says, like, the girls are in there, they meet so-and-so, this happens, they leave. And we were in there for, like, hours upon hours, and it evolved to something so much more horrific than I expected it to be. And I
Yeah.
think that actually translates a lot on my face in the film, because, like, if a normal person would react to that and be like, oh my gosh, but I'm stood there like this. the whole time, because I just didn't expect it to become as like deep and real as it was. I thought it was going to be kind of like quick and dirty, and then we spent a whole day like creating this. I mean, Rachel should talk about this.
Well, I was just gonna say a moment that I felt like was there's a scene towards the end where we all kind of air our grievances, and that was like, and the script is so good and everyone's character is so defined, so it's easy to improv because you know like who you are and what you would say, and I feel like things came out in the fight that were so fun to say, and like it was really, and we brought a little bit of ourselves into it too. There were certain things, like I was talking about this earlier today, where I was saying something like at dinner to the cast, and then Helena was like, say that in the movie, and like, because it's just like you bring little pieces of yourself, and I think that's so fun and really juicy.
There's also that the party scene that we filmed where it's, I think, like leading up to it, Helena would be like, I'm so excited for our party on Friday night. It's like, we were having a party, but it was like a full day of 12 hours of work. But like the work was us all being unhinged in this party setting with like, again, like not like having, pieces on the page, but really just like, in a party setting, like everyone has their own agenda. And so we were all just like running around, like going crazy with like this unchained camera that could catch us at any moment.
That is absolutely wild that you shot the film that way. I'm going back to my editor question now. How much footage did you actually go into the edit with compared to whatever the average is? And is there anything that was especially hard to cut out of the final film?
Well, the funny thing about this whole thing is that I'm not an educated filmmaker, so I am very intuitive, and this is how I like to work. And our DP Jasper, who also comes from the Netherlands, loves that way of working too, and so in my first film we did that too. So of course the editor's like, wait, what is going on? Because there's a lot of handheld, there's enormously long takes, but I feel I want to bring the same atmosphere as I had in my theater group with Ivo van Hoven to them, and like make it for them so that things can happen that are unpredictable, that they totally get into it. So I'm very relieved to hear that they all tell themselves it's not real, it's not real. But I mean it's a funny, but at the same time it's true, because we create an atmosphere in which things almost feel documentary. But I think both editors who worked on this film absolutely loved it, and one of them was the editor of Green Room, so I think like they really got into it, but at first they might be a little bit like overwhelmed by what kind of material they received.
Doesn't surprise me to hear that. I love when all my favorite people work together. Just to highlight all of your characters individually right now, can you each go down the line and say one thing you really admire about your character, a quality that you would actually want to take with you, but then what is one of her biggest weaknesses or flaws that the audiences should keep an eye out for as the story unfolds?
Oof, okay. Something that I admire about my character is if she's feeling something, if she wants something, if she wants to say something, she does it. She goes for it. With not a ton of thought necessarily. But I think that makes her very passionate and open and honest, and it also can be a double-edged sword. It can also be very dangerous.
I feel like everyone's best quality is a double-edged sword and could do them in.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say somewhere like also a double-edged sword sort of quality is like Emma, amidst great adversity, her boyfriend could be screaming in her face, spitting in her eyes, and she could just be like, hold her composure as best she can. There's like a resilience that is admirable about that. But at the same time, resilience can lead to deep repression of dark demons, and I think that can rear its head in uglier ways. But yeah.
I think not the only thing. I kind of like her. I think I appreciate the fact that she's much braver than me, because I couldn't be that brave. But I don't really enjoy the fact that she's not trustworthy, and she's not trusting people as well. I'm not trusting people easily as well. So that's why it's kind of the only mutual thing between me and my character. But yeah, maybe these two. I don't know.
I feel like Alice loves to have fun. She just wants everyone to have a good time. She wants things to go well. She wants to dance, and I love that. I think her weakness is she is so quick to jump at some. I can't think of the best word to describe it, but she'll change her mind really quick. Like, I feel like a lot in the movie, I'm like, this person's the killer. No, this person's the killer, and it's them, and it's blah blah blah. And I think like she doesn't really ever slow down, and maybe that's like the other side of the party fun aspect is she's kind of like frantic. I don't know what that hitting the table thing was, but yeah.
Tell us about your character, Helena. One of the things I admire the most about Jordan is her leadership. We'll call it leadership. When things start to go awry, she sort of grabs all the sharpest things and says, I'm going to protect and we're going to find out. And, you know, I think that's like, you know, go-getter attitude. That's great. Love that. The thing about Jordan that I think is her weakness is that she's like, I'm the biggest, smartest, strongest, but she's also like one of the least truthful people, and she like saves all of her ammunition until she can like leverage it against someone, and I find that very sneaky and sad.
Oh my God, the pairing of these qualities. All right, so you guys have played a version of Bodies, 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 but I have a different game for you right now. I play this on my Ladies' Night series every once in a while, and it just feels too appropriate to do this. So I love horror movies, clearly. I want to throw, like, all of you, the real you, into a slasher scenario.
Let's go.
So I am going to give you some descriptions, and whoever jumps in first is going to give me the right answer. So tell me who best applies to this description. First one is, of the group, who is most likely to not realize that they're in a horror movie and go and investigate a strange noise and then just immediately get killed by the killer?
Chase.
Oh, this is real.
That came way
This
too
is real
fast,
life.
and I'm not sure why.
I'm sorry.
I honestly think it's Rachel.
Okay,
I'm
the
sorry.
reason
I think it's Rachel too.
Because I dropped
She's
Rachel
a
off.
perfect angel.
She's a perfect angel, and I dropped Rachel. I dropped Rachel off at her house the other day, and she was like, "Why is the door turned like a normal door handle or something?" It was like something really small, and then you call. And then yes, there were, no, that was actually scary. There were there were two cars around your block. It was scary, but it wasn't that scary. And then we stayed on the phone for 10 minutes until you figured it out.
But I went in. Yeah.
But you went in.
Okay, maybe it is you.
Why did you say
Okay,
Chase
the reason I
offense?
said you is because one day we were on set and we were playing like a truth or dare, and Chase walked away, and I dared Amandla to be really like standoffish and rude to Chase.
Which was
the
the
meanest
scariest,
joke ever.
meanest dare.
It was the meanest joke.
Fully was bullied. Okay,
okay.
continue.
Well, so I was like, just like, don't even look at her. And then when she says something, kind of go like, and see just like how long until
So
she notices
twisted.
something going on. I know
Thank
it's
God
really
this is coming
mean,
to
but,
light.
like,
Can't wait. Yeah, bring on the sympathy, please. Thank you.
So then we were doing it, and Chase for like, I thought she was gonna last that long because Chase doesn't take shit, you know what I mean? And then like 5 minutes in, she like Amandla would be like, that's kind of a weird thing you just said, and Chase was like, like what's and then we all bust up laughing, and poor Rachel was like almost in tears because she thought it was so mean and wrong.
It was kind of crazy.
It was mean.
She was just like,
It was crazy dare.
But
It was a good one.
It was very like within the culture of the
was
people
That's
we were
right.
playing. You
Glad
know?
I could help you drop in, guys. Glad I could help you drop in.
All right.
next question.
I'll squeeze.
Question.
I gotta let you guys go soon. I'll squeeze in two more. Let's highlight a really good positive quality in someone. Who is the most
Great
likely to sacrifice themselves for the group?
Oh my gosh.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Helena?
Yeah.
Yes,
Helena.
Helena.
That is the right answer to that
Yeah.
question. You're a fearless leader.
Yeah. I will protect you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, this is my favorite one. I'll end on this. Who is the most likely to come back at the last possible second? Like you think they're dead, but then they save the day when you think that all hope is lost.
Maria.
Rachel.
I don't know. I feel like
Maria has a tendency like pop out of nowhere,
Yes.
having come off a flight from like.
Yeah.
We look like
Yeah.
a
Right.
freak.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I agree, Maria.
Epic if Rachel was like, I'm actually not dead.
Yeah.
That's how she would say it.
I actually lie. I have one more question. Amandla, guess what I'm going to ask about? Just
I
guess.
have a little feeling.
I'm hoping that I have a way to ask about it that you can actually answer. So
Okay, give it your best
my
shot.
absolute favorite thing about Star Wars is that with every single movie and show, the franchise evolves and we get new layers to it. For you as a performer, what is the most important thing that you are very eager to add to that franchise to help it grow and get stronger?
I would say I am excited to contribute, adding to the lexicon and the lore, very complex female characters.
I like that. I am very excited to see that.
Thank you.
But I love your question and I love your answer.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy road, but it will be a worthwhile one to navigate. I promise
This
you
is
that.
like hour 2, so
I know,
only up from here.
I feel like that news breaking at Comic-Con of all places is quite the challenge. Huge, huge, huge congratulations on Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Everybody out there, prioritize this movie. Trust me, see this. Congratulations.
Thank